Hello my friends, I am Mr. Pranab Oja. Welcome you to our channel E-Learning A to Z. In this lecture, we are going to discuss another example of compression member. Today, we are going to discuss on the design of slab base. Before starting the example, let me explain briefly on the slab base. We know that it is very important that the column load should be applied on sufficient area of the concrete foundation so that the stress in concrete should be within the bearing strength of the concrete. Therefore, a steel plate is used to distribute the column load on sufficient area of concrete foundation. The base plate may be of following types depending on the load of the column. So there are two types of base plate. One is the slab base, the other is gusseted base. So in this example, we are going to design slab base. If you see the column arrangement, this is the concrete base. Over the concrete base, this is one base plate. It is steel base plate which is fixed over the column with the help of some bolts. And over this steel base plate, the column section is erected. This is the column section, which is the I section, and it is connected to the base plate with the help of some weldings throughout the section. So now in this example, we have to design this base plate for the column. So let me start the example. Design the base plate for a column made of ISHB 250 at the rate 51 kg per meter to carry a factored compressive load of 780 kN. The grade of concrete is M20. Assume Fe 410 grade steel. So let's start the solution part. First of all, I shall write the given data as per the question. The given column section is ISHB 250 at the rate 51 kg per meter. Then factored compressive load is 780 kN. As here the grade of concrete is M20, so characteristic compressive strength for concrete, which is FCK, is 20 Newton per mm square or simply 20 MPa. Then for Fe 415 grade steel, yield stress Fy is 250 Newton per mm square. Then I shall note down the properties of the section ISHB 250 at the rate 51 kg per meter from steel table. So if you see the steel table for ISHB 250 having weight 51.0 kg per meter, its depth of the section, which is denoted by h or height, is 250 mm. Then breadth of flange or the width of flange, denoted by BF, is again 250. Then thickness of flange is 9.7 mm. Then thickness of web is 6.9 mm. And its cross sectional area is 64.96 centimeter square. So if I convert it to mm square, it will be 6496 mm square. Rxx is equal to 10.91 centimeter. Then Ryy 5.49 centimeter. Then Ixx is 7736.5 centimeter to the power 4. If I convert it to mm to the power 4, I have to multiply it by 10 to the power 4. In step 2, permissible bearing stress of concrete. As we have to discuss on the concrete, so you have to follow the Indian Standard Code 456/2000. In this code, under the clause 34.4, which give transfer of load at base of column, for limit state method of design, the permissible bearing stress shall be 0.45 FCK. Here FCK is the compressive characteristic strength. So for M20 grade of concrete, already we have noted down that it is 20. So permissible bearing stress of concrete is calculated as 9 Newton per mm square. Next, therefore required area for the base plate, load divided by stress. The given compressive load is 780 kilonewton and I have converted it to Newton, and the permissible stress is 9. So required cross sectional area is 86.67 into 10 cube mm square. Assuming square base plate, size of the plate required, so I have taken the square root of the total cross sectional area required for the base plate, as I am going to provide square size of base plate, and the size of the base plate required is calculated as 294.40. Therefore provided base plate of size 350 into 350 mm. Area of base plate. So provided area of the base plate will be 350 into 350. It is calculated as 122.5 into 10 cube mm square, and it is greater than the area required, which is 86.67 into 10 cube mm square. Bearing pressure of concrete, small w, it is load divided by area provided. The load is 780 into 10 cube and provided area is 122.5 into 10 cube mm square. So small w is calculated as 6.37 Newton per mm square, and it is less than the permissible bearing stress of concrete. Hence our design for the base plate is safe. Now if ISHB 250 is provided at the center of the base plate, projects available are shown in the figure. So this is the size of the base plate, 350 into 350, and our ISHB 250 is placed at the central portion of the base plate. So this will be the position over the base plate for the column section. So then 50 mm will be the projection in one side. This projection, this will be 50 mm and it is denoted by small b. Similarly, this projection will be A. It is also 50 mm. Projections A equal 50 mm and B equal 50 mm. As we are providing square base plate and also for the I section, its total depth and the width of the flange is equal. Therefore both the projections S and A and B are same. Step 3. Now the thickness of the base plate. We are going to calculate how much thickness is required for the base plate. If I follow the clause number 7.4.3.1 of IS 800/2007, the minimum thickness TS of rectangular slab bases supporting column under axial compression shall be this expression for TS. So I have written this expression, then I have put the corresponding values. The value of small w, which is the bearing pressure of concrete, it is 6.37. Then projection A equal 50 and B is equal to again 50, and then gamma m naught is taken from table 5 of IS 800. Then Fy is the yield stress. So required thickness for the base plate is 11.07 mm, and it is more than the thickness of the flange. Hence our design for the base plate is safe. Therefore, provided base plate of size 350 into 350 into 12 mm. 350 and this 350 are the sides of the base plate, and 12 mm is the thickness. As in our case, the thickness required for the base plate is 11.07 mm, so we have provided little more than the required thickness, that is 12 mm we have provided. Next, step 4, design of welded connection for the base plate. Assuming 8 mm size fillet weld all around the column to hold it in position, if you see over the base plate, the column section is placed at the central portion, and at the column section throughout the whole length of the section the welding is provided. Okay, so if I see the one flange of the section, the length of the flange is 250. Okay, so now we are going to calculate the total welding available for the column if I provide the welding throughout the whole section. So for the flange at one side I shall provide 250 mm weld. In the other side, means in this side also, total length is 250, but I have to subtract the thickness of the weld, minus 250 minus TW. Therefore 250 into 2 minus thickness of the web. So this is the weld length for one flange. As the I section has two flanges, this is also another flange, so I have multiplied it by 2, plus for the web, this is the length of the web, which is 250, and for the web I have to subtract the thickness of the flange for the from the both side, thickness of the flange, and this is also TF. So 250 minus 2 into thickness of flange for one side of the web. Similarly for the other side also, which is also 250 mm, I have to multiply it by 2. So this will give us the total length of the weld available for the I section, and it is calculated as 1447.4 mm. Here thickness of the web is 6.9 mm and thickness of the flange is 9.7 mm. Then design strength of weld FWD. If I follow the clause number 10.5.7.1.1 for the fillet welds, design strength of fillet weld FWD is given by this expression: FWD equal FWN by gamma mW. Again FWN is replaced by FU by root 3. So finally this will be the expression for design strength of the weld. If I put the corresponding values, ultimate stress Fu is 410 Newton per mm square, then gamma mW, it is the partial safety factor from that table 5, it is 1.25. So finally design strength is calculated as 189.37 Newton per mm square. Then we have to calculate effective throat thickness small t. If I follow the clause number 10.5.7.1.1, 3.2 of IS 800/2007, the effective throat thickness shall be taken as K times the fillet size. That means if I denote the effective throat thickness as T equals 0 K into S. Now where K is a constant depending upon the angle between fusion faces as given in table 22. If I see the table 22 which gives the value of K for angle between fusion faces 60 to 90 degree, the constant K is 0.7. In our general weldings, the angle between fusion faces is 90 degree. So the value of K is taken as 0.7. Therefore T equal 0.7 S. So if I put the value of S, which is the size of the weld, that is 8 mm. So effective throat thickness is calculated as 5.6 mm. Let the required length of the weld be LW. Therefore design strength of the joint, it is the gross area of the weld, which is AZ, and FWD. FWD is the design strength of the weld. Again, gross area of the weld is equal to length of the weld into effective throat thickness T. So design strength of the joint will be LWT FWD. Now equating the strength of the joint with the factored compressive load, LWT FWD is equal to 780 into 10 cube, which is the factored compressive load. Then if I put the values of effective throat thickness, which is 5.6, then design strength of the weld, that is 180, 9.37. So finally, by simplifying this equation, I shall get the length of the weld required is 735.52 mm, and it is less than the available length of the weld, which is 1447.4 mm. As the required length is less than the available length of the weld, hence our design is safe. Therefore fillet weld of 8 mm size is adequate to resist the compressive load of 780 kilonewton. So this is all about today's discussion, where we have designed slab base for the steel column. So I hope you have understand the concept. So if you have any queries, you can comment me at the comment section, or you can mail me to my mail address. Thank you.